What's up, everyone? My name is Austin Dorman, and it's going to be an awesome day today. There's a lot of cool and exciting things that we're going to be doing, and I apologize that we're running a little bit late. I had some technical difficulties, but this is going to be really exciting for everyone here. So before we begin, make sure you comment hashtag live if you're watching the live stream and hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Love to see who's here live with us and who's watching after the show. So, and also too, we're live streaming inside of the Facebook group, so SalesFunnels with Austin Dorman, and also we're live streaming here on YouTube. So also comment hashtag Facebook if you're watching in the Facebook group, and hashtag YouTube if you're watching in YouTube. So let me just check really quick, make sure everything's working. Looks like YouTube is looking good, and then Facebook is also looking good. And so so today's going to be quite a treat today. So we're doing a live funnel review, and we actually have someone inside the Facebook community. She offered to use her funnel for us to review. So we're going to bring her onto the stage. We have Pam. How are you doing, Pam?
Hi, I'm doing great, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. Thanks so much for being here with us and for volunteering to review your funnel. This is going to be really exciting.
Yes, thank you for having me. Really excited.
Yeah, and why don't you tell us about yourself, like what you do, what you specialize in, and also too, what type of funnels are you building?
Sweet. So my background is totally different than ClickFunnels and funnel hacker, those things. I was working with neurosurgery, but in Brazil, not here in America. And then when I get here for the first time, I saw the technology and I was like, that's amazing, And so at that time I knew I want to be a mom and I want to work from home. And then I started to understand about funnels. And nowadays I just do like optiming funnels. And I do usually for like local business because I live in Napa, so I know basically, the whole city. So that's really good.
Yeah. That's in California, right? Napa,
yes, in California.
Napa, California. Oh,
yeah.
awesome. That's so cool.
Where we have a lot of good wine.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's quite the shift going from working in like neurosurgery to like doing like what you're doing with, like, I know you said you do paid Facebook ads and stuff like that. I guess what was kind of like the moment where it's like, hey, this isn't going to be like my thing working in like neurosurgery, like I want to do this. Like what was your like epiphany moment, so to speak?
Yeah, my epiphany moment was when I was daydreaming about to be a mother. Because neurosurgery is beautiful. I was so happy to serve people, to help the doctor, to do whatever. I was a scrub nurse, a neurosurgery, so it was so fun for me. But it's like neurosurgery has time to start, but not to finish. Sometimes I had to work 18 hours, 24 hours. Like my longest time was 36 hours. And how can I have a baby this way? I want to be with my baby, I want to like discover with him. Now I have a baby, by the way.
Yeah, it's a beautiful baby. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so it's kind of like that dream of having a family, starting a family, and basically you had to find a career that would be able to like support that. Because I like kind of like what you're saying. It's like, man, like people that do like surgeries or the medical field, it's like I'm glad they're there. But it's like it's long hours. It's probably high stress too, especially in brain surgery as well. Yeah. So that's really awesome. So
I'm a really calm person, but I think like neurosurgery is nerve-wracking sometimes.
Yeah, I totally get it. And maybe if you could share, how long have you been using ClickFunnels and been part of the ClickFunnels community, the funnel hacker community of like what we call it inside of the community?
Yeah. So almost 2 years. It's gonna go for 2 years now. But I started everything. I was like, okay, how can I got like all the books, right? And I was like, what's the last book like traffic, right? And I start learning about traffic and going crazy about traffic even before I buy ClickFunnels. But I had the books,
Yeah.
I was following Russell. I knew like the strategy. I was like, okay, now I need to learn about traffic, right? So I specialize a little bit more about traffic. And the funnels for now, I'm just selling for my neighbors, like Optimum funnel. I was like, you don't have a
Yeah.
mail list? Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you're missing. So
Yeah.
and that's what I do. But I have like a personal project that I want to share in this live, and it's a little bit more than an Optimum funnel, And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do if I'm doing right. So your help is gonna be amazing. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So, maybe for those that don't know about the books or don't know about Russell Brunson or about ClickFunnels, I'll just kind of do like a quick recap right here for any new listeners. So Russell Brunson, he's a digital marketing expert. He's the co-founder of a marketing software company called ClickFunnels, and basically is probably back in like the mid 2010s. That's when he like launched ClickFunnels, the first version of it, which was we call it like a sales funnel editor, basically like a drag and drop tool that you can make these landing pages, and if you string those landing pages together, it's a sales funnel. And so over the years, he's written 3 different books. Actually, he's written quite a few books, but the ones that he's most well known for, .com Secrets, which talks about sales funnels and basically like the foundations of marketing. Expert Secrets, which is basically how do you sell your knowledge or like what you know.
Yeah.
And then Traffic Secrets, what Pam mentioned, that's where how do you get traffic to your funnel, whether it's like paid or organic or just like creating an email list. So really awesome books. I'll put those in the chat and in the comment as well if you want to get any of those books. Highly recommend it if you're new to digital marketing or even if you're like a seasoned veteran in marketing. So that's really awesome. And why don't we jump right into your ClickFunnels account
Let's do it.
and yeah, and let's see how far we get. So I know we kind of said let's kind of see how it goes in 30 minutes. We'll be kind of doing edits live as well. So we have this one right here, and then we'll actually be making edits in this copy one. And Pam, is it okay if we go through this one first, and then
Totally.
if
Yeah.
we have time, we could do the course one.
Yes.
Fantastic. So let's preview these, and then we'll also check out the workflow as well, see if there's anything. So it looks like it's a free guide, learn how to create, market, and sell digital products for 100% profit. So that's going to be really awesome. And then all they have to do is input their first name, their email, and then they click the button, get access. So this is going to be good. And then let's look at this one. So this is the second page of the funnel. So thank you for signing up. And then it looks like you have Digital Wealth Academy. So that's going to be
Yes.
really awesome. So this is the course that's attached to it. So we could take a look at that either on this live stream if we have time. And if we don't have time, we'll do kind of like a separate one. I think it'll be kind of cool to do like a part 1, part 2.
Yeah. Sweet.
And yeah, so let's look at the workflow. DWA. And for those that don't know about workflows, so workflows are kind of like the back-end automation. So basically, like once something happens, like an opt-in, there's a series of like items that occur. So for example, with this one that Pam set up, the trigger probably is, look at this one. It looks like they're just copies. So we can actually clean that up a little bit. But it looks like all you do is you opt into the funnel, you wait a minute, and then the first email gets sent out. And then you wait a day, the second email gets sent out. Then looks like 2.
Oh yeah,
Looks
I
like
need
that's
one.
yeah, maybe like a delay here. We could
Yeah.
actually kind of see how it goes, but it looks like an email, ClickFunnels mini chat, storytelling and benefits, and then wait 2 days, send an email, then wait a couple days. Looks like you have like a sequence of emails. So this is really awesome. Highly recommend having workflows for all your projects. That's kind of like the power of they're called follow-up funnels, or basically like the email sequences that happen after either someone purchases or don't purchase, or if they opt in and stuff like that, because you never know. Maybe they don't get the product, or they buy the thing, but maybe it's like after the series of sequences, when they're warmed up, they're like, oh, like I'm ready to buy and stuff like that. So this is really awesome. So maybe what we could do, if you're okay, we'll kind of jump around between these 3 items: this first page, this second page, and then this workflow. Is that okay,
Okay.
Pam?
Yes, totally
Okay,
fine. Let's do it.
awesome. And the first thing that I want to do is actually go inside the workflow. Usually with my workflows, there's 2 things that I always like. One is to tag the contact. So this kind of helps out with like segmentation. If you want to email your list and it's like, hey, I just want to email the people that have just opted into the free guide. So that's kind of like one of the powerful tools about like contacts and contact tagging. And so if we actually click this plus button, if we go over here on the right hand side, you could do contact tag. We'll drag it over. And then you can add the tag. You could basically create it to be whatever you like it to be. For this one, you could probably do it as, I'm not sure if you, these are kind of like existing tags right here.
I have no
But like,
idea what is this, so we can take it out.
okay, yeah.
I think I did it in the
So,
wrong place.
oh, got it. Was it down
Okay.
here? Down below somewhere?
So
Let's
those
see.
tags, I think I did by mistake. I didn't understand what
Oh,
was tagged, to be really honest.
yeah. Yeah, those tags could be kind of tricky if you don't know. So
Yeah.
essentially, for those listening, either live or on the replay, contact tags are a way to basically say like, oh, it's basically to give them, kind of separate your audience, or like separate the people buying your stuff. Um, and usually what I do is I tag them based off of the funnel, because it's like, oh, I like to know what funnel they went through. So usually I just use the funnel name, to be honest. And then I also create another tag, just something like simple. So for this one, it might be like the free digital wealth guide.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, when they opt in, the system's going to automatically tag them. If we scroll back to the top, let's see. Let's see. So if we like add it here, contact tag, it'll just automatically tag them. So we could actually discard, but that's how you do it. The
So like,
second thing that, yeah,
sorry to interrupt. Where should I go to generate this tag?
yeah, great question. So to generate the tag, you could actually, if we drag this over, contact tag, you could actually create the tag here, which
Okay.
is kind of awesome. Yeah. So right here, these gives you your existing tags based off of other funnels that you created with the workflow attached to it and those tags. But what you could also do is you could just type in here. So if we did free, maybe DW guide, and if you click enter, it's going to save that tag for you. And then
Okay.
you could use it for like future stuff. So that's something like really cool
It
about that. And
is.
then usually what I do too is the name of the funnel as well. So like Pam free digital wealth. Got it. And then you could click enter and it'll create the tag. So
Wow.
that's something super awesome. And there's like other actions too, just for everyone's benefit. You could add tags, remove tags. It kind of depends with like removing tags, to be honest, because usually what happens is you first tag them and then they go through the sequence, and maybe you remove a specific tag where it's like, hey, let's maybe take them out of this bucket and put them either in a different bucket, or maybe just kind of leave them untagged. So that's something to
Okay, got
keep in
it.
mind. Yeah. And then the second thing that I like to do, I like to get notified when someone opts into my funnels. And so there's this notify one right here that you could bring over. And then this will notify people inside of your workspace. And then you can type a message. And then you could also do email or notification.
Oh,
So a
that's
lot of
awesome.
times, yeah. So a lot of times what I do with my workflows is I say like, hi, Austin. And then we could do these tags right here. We open it. These gives you some default tags that you could use. So what I like to do is say, hi, Austin, contact first name has opted into your funnel. Or you could like name the funnel. I think usually I like to do contact first name and last name. And then say like, here's his, or here's the email address. And then do contact email address. And then do email. Email will just send you a separate email, and the notification will just be a notification inside your ClickFunnels account. So usually I like to keep those both here. But
That's awesome.
this is really awesome
Yeah.
because I like to know when someone opts into my funnel, and it's always kind of cool to like when you have your phone and then you get an email, it's like, oh, like someone opted in. It's like, yes. So
Yes.
super awesome. So I'd recommend having that for all your funnels. That
Okay.
contact tag and then this notify as well.
Okay. Oh, you can leave right there.
Oh yeah.
You can, yeah, because then I can remember like what I have to do and fix on my funnel. I think this is gonna be really helpful if you can.
Yeah. Oh, to save it.
Yeah, just save there. Then I
Okay.
can correct the name.
Okay. And then let's here we'll I'm not sure what email here. Let me stop sharing my screen really quick. Okay. Yeah, looks like
That's so cool.
we'll just put it to one of them. Looks like there's a Pam and a Pamela, so we'll just put it to Pamela or Pam right now. I think it just depends on
Okay.
who it is. So it's saving.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, you're welcome. And this notify step it's really awesome too because sometimes what I do too is I have a notify step at the end of my workflow, and so I would say contact first name has finished the workflow. And then that way, it's like, okay, they went through the 5-day email sequence or the 10-day email sequence and stuff like that. So we'll save that. Oh, let's put your name instead of my name. So right here, and then click update step. Yeah, and then we won't spend any more time on the workflows. Those were the two main things that I just want to kind of point out. I would just make sure that you just review your workflow. I highly recommend using delays as well. So usually like send an email, delay, send an email, delay, just so that they're not like bombarded with emails, unless if you want them to, because maybe it makes sense where you send them a welcome email and then right after like this one, you send them looks like a ClickFunnels and a mini chat email, for example. So yeah, so I would maybe even just break that up where it's like maybe a 30-minute delay.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Just
Yeah.
because it'll do back to back.
Oh, I see.
Just like,
Okay. I will
yeah.
review that.
But I would say everything looks pretty good. I know we kind of only looked through half of the
Oh, it's
workflow,
good. Yeah, I can go through by
but
myself and see like if I need more delay or something. I have one more question about this topic.
yeah.
So I saw a guy that he had like a workflow. It was like a spider web. Sometimes in Portuguese and
Oh,
English.
spiderweb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I want one like this, and well, it's like, okay, this customer buys something, yeah. So if they buy something, this is the workflow, and then this is the other thing, or we can do right there.
Yeah, so great question. Let's go back to here. And
Yeah, because if
Let's click
someone buy the product like in the third email or second email, I don't want to keep going send those messages anymore. So how can I know this?
Yeah, great question. So it's just loading really quick. Once we get those like little circle with the plus inside, yeah, right here.
Okay.
So if we go over here, to kind of get those like branches and start kind of make spider webs and stuff, that's with split paths.
Okay.
You could also split test as well. So for example, if you want to split test emails, it's like, hey, let's send maybe 50 of the traffic here and then 50% of the traffic over here.
Okay.
Split test might be a good option to like do that. But conditional split paths, if we bring that over, give it a second to load. This is where you can set up the condition.
Okay.
So basically like, hey, have they purchased this product, or hey, have they not? So currently it's set to email, but you could also do it by product.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, under filter, you could say owns product. So whenever they purchase the product, ClickFunnels will like say, oh, you know, we'll say Tim purchased the product, and so it's going to tag it. So you could say owns product, and then there's a list of all your products. So then at that point, you could kind of spider web it or kind of waterfall. I basically make it so it kind of branches out a little bit, but this might be like a good option to use.
Okay.
So then, yeah, so then that way, if they purchase the product already, you don't have to send them all. I don't know, like the other
Again,
like 5 emails or like
like
10
that, yeah.
emails. It's like, yeah. So that'll be a good way to do it.
Okay, so should I do this after every mail on my list?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it honestly kind of depends on kind of the email sequence and everything. If it's kind of like maybe just going back to Russell Brunson's books. So in .com Secrets, he talks about this kind of, it's like a 5 or 6 email sequence, basically like kind of warming up your audience and just talking about yourself, your life story and stuff like that. For that sequence, I would recommend not having that.
Okay.
But like for like these ones right here, it kind of just depends on like what makes sense in terms of like your emails, for example. So like obviously the welcome and congratulations, that's probably saying like, hey, welcome either to like the guide or something. And then maybe down here, ClickFunnels, mini chat, storytelling and benefits. Once you start pitching the other items, maybe that makes sense to like start breaking them out. And
Okay.
it could be too that with workflows as well, you could do a lot of cool things with workflows. But sometimes too with workflows, you could do like a 5-part email sequence, and then it'll kick them to another workflow, and then that's where you're trying to like ascend them up kind of to the next product. And so that might be something to consider as well. It's like, hey, maybe for this free guide, we just have this 5-part email sequence that we have like already set. And after they're done, if we go over here to the right, you could trigger another workflow. And so
Okay.
maybe this is the part where you're starting to kind of pitch your next thing, and you send them a 5-part email sequence of like, hey, this is like a really cool product. And then another email is like, hey, this is like why you should get this product. And then kind of going through like that email sequence. And probably at that point, that's where you could start kind of branching them out. Maybe after like the second or third one, that's when you could start branching them out.
Okay.
But usually with workflows, kind of like how I think of it is like, like it's almost this thing of like, don't like overcomplicate it, because like once it gets like too complicated, it gets, it gets kind of hard to like keep up
Yeah.
with stuff. And so a lot of times it's like, hey, why don't I just create like this simple workflow, And once it gets kind of like too much, in my opinion, that's when I would create a separate workflow when there's like a nice break. And then I could just trigger another workflow. So
I see. Okay.
yeah.
Makes so much sense now. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's just something to kind of consider. And
Okay.
then let's go back to the top. So I'm just gonna take this out because you don't need it. We'll remove it. And then let's jump into your funnel as well.
Okay.
Let's go back. And then this is just kind of previewing the funnel, and then we'll actually go inside the funnel editor. And so there's a couple things that we'll do right now on the call, just kind of like to like adjust it and stuff. So it looks like here we have this headline. We are living the ultimate digital era for maximizing online earnings. And then right here is the sub headline. Get ready to learn high income skills and build your multiple passive income streams today. So this looks good. Now, what I would probably do, and this is kind of going into like styling for funnels and stuff, it almost looks like the fonts are about like the same size.
Okay.
So it's kind of this thing of like, hey, maybe we just need to make the headline bigger and the sub headline smaller. And I've also seen some funnels where even the headline, it's like all in caps, like or uppercase letters. And because you almost have to kind of go in the eyes of the customer of saying like, hey, when someone sees this, what are they going to see first? Are they going to see the big black headline, or are they going to see the almost the same size sub headline, but it's in red? And
Mm-hmm.
so kind of the red might kind of like stick out a little bit much, you know? So that's
Yeah.
kind of like something to do. So it might be what we might want to just check is, hey, would it make sense to have this be the color headline for up here, and then black would be down here, so it's a little bit more subtle. So
Okay.
that's something to do. Get your free guide now. Learn how to create, market, and sell digital products for 100% profit. So yeah, so we could probably even make this a little bit bigger and then this smaller as well.
Okay.
So kind of like that. And then we could check out this one too. Kind of have a few ideas. Is this kind of like your footer,
No,
or
it's
like
just
what's
like
at the bottom of the page?
no, it's not. If you wanna take it out,
Okay.
we can.
Got it. Yeah, let's see how it looks like just taking it out. And
Okay.
then one thing that I would probably recommend doing too, and you could obviously like test this and whatnot, but there's so much power in having reviews. So if you could get like people on your email list that have like downloaded this and like read it, and even if they could like write like something positive, like
Yeah.
that's something that I've done recently with an opt-in funnel. Is we had a lot of like reviews. It's like basically we had a section that said like, it's like, hear what other people had to say, and it's just like a big block of like testimonials and stuff. So that might be like something to consider as well when you're like split testing, or like testing this funnel with like reviews to see if one maybe performs better than the other.
Okay.
So
I
let's
have a
actually,
bunch of good reviews about this course. It's really nice.
oh,
Yeah.
nice. That's awesome. So let's go here. And okay, so we have that section, and then we have that, and okay, perfect. That looks good. One thing that's actually really cool inside of ClickFunnels 2.0 is you could create universal sections. So basically meaning that you could save this section and make it universal. And so if you make an update here and you have another funnel that has a footer in a different funnel, if you made any updates anywhere, it'll update all the footers in the funnel. So that's just like something
That's
to keep in
cool.
mind as well. Yeah, so like for example, if maybe you like updated your privacy policy, or actually maybe not do that, but let's say you updated your logo, for example, and you just want to like change out the logo, you could change it here and it'll update all your funnels for all your other ones, instead of having to change the logo in this funnel and then change the logo in another funnel and then another funnel. It's just kind of like extra work. But let's go up here So we have that bold. I like that blue. That looks good too. So let's actually try it with like all caps, for example. So if we are living the ultimate digital era for maximizing online earnings. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yes, totally.
Where it's all caps, and then let's override this. And then over here, this is kind of totally up to you. So rem, there's basically two options. One is like pixel size, and one is rem. Rem is like it's kind of like a little hard to describe, but basically it takes like your base pixel and then it multiplies it by this number right here. I
Okay.
usually just stick to pixel, to be honest, but
Oh, you can
what's
change.
super okay. Perfect. So let's do that. Change up both to pixel. What's super nice about ClickFunnels is you could drag it, basically like slide to see how big or small you want your headline to be. So that's like something awesome. So if
Mm-hmm.
we did that, kind of like it where it's on two lines. And then let's go here. Just kind of want to make sure that it looks good up here.
Yeah, one thing about this mobile and desktop that
Mhm.
drives me crazy sometimes, like change so much. How can I, if I put just on this desktop and then I go to mobile, it's totally different. So how can I fix this, like to work on both?
Yeah. Yeah, to basically make it look nice on desktop and mobile.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so a few things, and this is kind of like one of my tips when it comes to building funnels, is whenever you add something or like you're adding a section with headlines, with images and stuff like that, I always just take a quick look to see how it looks on mobile, because I've built it both ways where it's like I built it so it looks nice on desktop and then I go to mobile and it's like all jumbled up and it's like, oh
Okay.
man, like yeah, and that's not a bad thing in terms of like, hey, let me just optimize desktop, then I'll optimize mobile a little bit later. But I found it to be so much easier just to do it at the same time, for example. So in this situation with headlines, if we go to the settings, so this little gear icon right here, there's a font size for desktop and then there's a font size for mobile here as well. And
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, so this is what I usually do for updating it. So if we kind of make this a little smaller, maybe three lines is good. I I would probably say maybe ideally 2 to 3 is probably the best. You could probably use 4. It just kind of depends on
Mm-hmm.
like how it looks aesthetically, and maybe even this one looks good just to give us some more room for this one as well. And then for anyone that's new inside ClickFunnels, something that's really awesome is down here below. This allows you to only do desktop only or mobile only as well. And so what that means is if someone's on their computer and you have it on desktop only, let's do this. They're only going to see on the desktop, but if they switch it to their phone, it's gone. Like they're not going to see it. So
Okay.
I typically use it for images, to be honest. Sometimes how it looks on a desktop like looks really awesome and nice, but sometimes for when you look on a mobile, you like the images aren't like where you want it to be. So you may have to just kind of duplicate the image, make one desktop, and make one mobile. So that's kind of
Genius.
like my funnel tip for today. But for right now, we'll just go
Wow,
back to
that's
the
really good tip because duplicate. Because when I was doing desktop and then I had to switch for mobile, there was no
Mhm.
image anymore. I was like, where was it? I swear I was here.
Oh yeah, so it was probably desktop only.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then
Wow.
yeah, let's switch that to all. Then I want to see the size of your row as well. Yeah, for this, because it kind of looks a little squished, to be honest. Like when I was looking at it, I think typically a lot of sections by default it's 1170 per pixel. Oh, I like accidentally duplicated that. So I probably like leave it like that just so that it kind of breathes a little bit better and so it's not like super squished.
Mm-hmm.
Then let me just save that. And then with the sub headline, let's override this, do pixel. And then let's just kind of make this a little smaller. Sub headline, maybe that. And let's look at your font, the mobile as well. Yeah. It's always kind of tricky with so like text, like big text, like headlines, subheadlines, to see like what kind of looks good. Because like right here, for example, like even though it's a little small, like to be honest, aesthetically, like it looks a little bit better, you
Okay,
know?
agree.
And so even like right here, actually because we added more room, we could actually make the headline a little bit bigger. Maybe like that one. That's
I
probably
do.
good. Yeah, and then we could even
But no.
yeah. And then we could even just like underline it as well. So that might just be something to kind of like test. But I think for right now we'll actually take this out. Okay. So we got this all done. So why don't we take a look at this section right here? Top margin. So the cool thing about ClickFunnels is you could customize like the padding or the margins and stuff like that. So basically like how it's spread out or compressed, or how like if you want to have it like be up a little or down a little, that's like something super nice. I would probably for this one, let's actually kind of bring this down a little bit because it's kind of like tight right here.
Okay.
So that's kind of the one thing to keep in mind building funnels is just kind of like make sure like the funnel can breathe, so to speak, in an analogy. So we'll actually maybe bring this down a little bit more. I think that looks good. And then I like the picture right here. We'll keep the picture. And then this right here, we could actually do it one of two ways. So we could still have it be a headline like this, or what we could do is kind of have like a headline subheadline. So something kind of similar to this.
Okay.
So let's actually try the headline subheadline option.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll actually just copy this and bring this down. It's going to be really big, but it'll be okay. And then let's copy this, paste in here.
Oh, you're so good.
Actually,
You should do that for a living.
what?
You should do that for a living.
Oh yeah. And then let's make this bigger right here. And then I'm switching these to pixel. And make this bigger. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of like that. Looks like there's an extra space here. And then let's make this smaller.
What do you think about the red? Would you like to change the color?
Yeah, I kind of like the red, to be
Okay.
honest. Yeah, so right here, so kind of going along what I was talking about previously, you kind of have to imagine yourself as the customer. And to be honest, what you could do too is install like Microsoft Clarity to get like those like heat maps and whatnot. Um, but usually you have to kind of like be aware of, how big is your font? Is it in like all caps like this one? Is it in a different color? Because there's with funnels and stuff, you want like that sequence, So even though this is in red, this is in caps and it's bigger. So like people are gonna see it where it's like, oh, like that's the first thing that's gonna get their attention, and then this red almost kind of leads them to it, which I think is nice. I think down here, I think this red you could probably leave it, or even too, like if you had a third color in your color palette, like that might actually be a good option. So I know I saw like that bluish, but for right now, let's kind of make this here. I'm just gonna, oh, there we go. Yeah, I think that looks better. So it's kind of like one line. Let's see what it looks like on desktop. So like right here, so the get your free guide, it was like very big on desktop, and then now it's like super tiny. So this is what I'm talking about, where it's like just make sure that you optimize both desktop and mobile at the same time.
Okay.
So let's actually do this. Maybe like that probably looks good. And then we may actually want this to be a little bit bigger. Let's see how big we could have it. Yeah, that might actually be good. Because the thing too is the size right here is almost the same size as your subheadline. And this is kind of like your paragraph element.
Okay.
And so with here, let's look at these fonts. 20 and 16. I think that's fine. You'll just kind of have to be a little bit careful with how big these are. And then maybe this would have to be, I don't know. I still kind of like it like this almost. Then enter your best email address below to get your free digital wealth guide. That looks good. And then these two right here, that looks awesome. And then one thing to do too is you may want to just test out the button color. So maybe for this one, this might actually make sense to have that red. If we get this red, because you want something to kind of pop for that button. And so this one might actually be a lot better. So something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then something that's kind of interesting too, that I've kind of noticed over the years is a lot of people would use, well, in the past, it seemed like a lot more people use like red buttons. But if you look at like Russell Brunson's funnels that he's been launching between like the Sell and Online Challenge, he had the SalesFunnel challenge. Basically, like if you want to be a funnel builder, and I'll put those links down in the comments if anyone's interested in those. But he actually used green buttons, which is kind of interesting. So that kind of, for me, like seeing that change over the years, like even though it's like a subtle change, like maybe like psychologically, where it's like, oh, green means like good, or
Yeah.
you know, kind of like that, or like red means stop. Like maybe that's part of the reason why, where it's like, oh yeah, like I want this guy, like maybe it makes sense to have a green button. So something.
Yeah, I read
Like
an
something
article
like
about
this.
that too. That people they are more likely to click in a blue, like a green, but no red at all.
Yeah.
Orange,
No,
red.
yeah. Yeah. For some reason, like just those cooler colors, those blues and greens, like you mentioned, like people just like clicking those a lot more than kind of the orange and reds, those kind of like hotter colors. So, and what you could even do is use kind of this blue from your logo, or even this like blue right here, and that could be the button as well.
Sweet, I like that.
Yeah. And then the last thing is I would recommend making the button a little, like the text in here.
Okay.
And then for this, you might be able to actually just take out that subtext, because kind of get access now kind of says like, oh yeah, I need to like click it. And then let's save this. And then down here below, it might make sense just to like delete this, to be
Okay.
honest,
Okay.
just so that's a little bit like simple and cleaner. Let's see what's happening. Oh, let's actually just add a new section. And then let's move this one down here. Oh. Well, looks like there's might be more stuff. Oh, here it is. Here's the section. So let's do that. Okay, and then we could delete this one right here.
Okay.
Kind of clean that up a little bit. But yeah, this looks awesome. And then I would say if you want to, you could add those reviews down here below, basically saying like you could create a new section right here. We'll kind of do kind of a quick demo, add a new row, add a headline, which honestly you could probably just like duplicate one of these or the one at top and just say hear what other people have said.
Okay.
And then there you could start like you could either take screenshots or start like typing out the different testimonials. So that's something that's kind of neat to do. I would probably recommend doing like a mix. Honestly, screenshots, if you had like a collage of images, that's really powerful because then when people land on it, it's like, oh wow, these are like real people that have like either sent you a Facebook message or maybe they commented on like a Facebook post as an example, where that's what I do is usually I ask people to say like, hey, can you write like 2 or 3 sentences about like your experience working with me? And then I take that screenshot and put on like my funnels or like my sites. And so that might be something really cool to do.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah. So let's save this. And I know we're kind of up at time, so we might have to just do kind of a part 2 session just to do this thank you page. But for right now, this is kind of high level. What I would probably do is I would definitely make this more of like a headline.
Okay.
So it's like, hey, thank you for signing up. And then you can have it, this is like fine right here. And then this one here, you could also make this a headline as well. So maybe it could even be like a step 1, step 2 type thing, where it's like, hey, step 1, download the guide, and there's a button where maybe it's linked to like a Google Doc or maybe like a Google Drive where they could go there. And then step 2 is like, hey, if you're ready to take it to the next level, or it's like, hey, you're ready to take the leap into the digital world, it's like, go get this course. And then that's your course to do. So that might be like something like really cool to do and like test out and stuff. But I would say, yeah, let's if you're okay, we could either save this for next time or you could do those changes. But I would say we've talked a lot about the funnel. We talked a lot about workflows. And so hopefully like implementing these things, it'll definitely help you out.
Totally will. So we can do the part 2, and I can go through my funnel and make all the corrections that you told me to do, and then you can review, and I think we're done.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and then afterwards we could dive into your course funnel as well. There's a lot of cool things that have them just like thinking about that we could do. So it's gonna be really awesome. But let me stop sharing my screen. But first off, I just want to say thank you, Pam, for volunteering for allowing us to review your funnel live. I know sometimes that could kind of be a little nerve-wracking, where it's like other people are like seeing like what you've done and like your work and stuff. But I hope it was beneficial in terms of like maybe things to like consider in the future, or just like maybe these like small tweaks here inside of your funnel. Like you never know, like with these like updates and changes and tweaks and stuff, like that could honestly be the difference from like going from maybe a small percentage for opt-ins to like a huger percent. So which honestly will just make it a bigger impact in your business.
Thank you so much. I love your YouTube channel. You provide so many good information for everyone. It's not easy to be a beginner, and you treat everyone with so much respect, and you're so helpful. Thank you so much, Austin. Like, you're doing an amazing job. I'm really
Oh,
proud to be part of this.
oh, thank you so much. Yeah. And
Thank you.
for those that aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's I'll put the links in the description section as well, and also in the comments. But thank you for shouting out that and reminding me. I do ClickFunnel tutorial videos. So basically I want to help people master ClickFunnels a lot quicker. And so I do these quick, they're usually like 5, maybe 10 minutes tops of just like going through different features, whether it's new features or old features, just so that people could basically get over the hump or the barrier of just like, oh, I don't know how this works. Like I just need someone to like walk me through it essentially. And so it's basically like my way for people to kind of look over my shoulder, and I just kind of do the thing. So thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel, and also for your support as well. It means a lot to me.
Sweet.
So yeah, so we'll plan on doing another funnel review. We'll keep on going, but for now, thanks everyone for watching live, and for those that are watching the replay, thank you for watching. This has been super awesome, and we're super excited to keep this going. So we have Pam with Work with Sharks, and then my name's Austin Dorman. I'm a certified funnel builder and ClickFunnels ambassador. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, whether in the comments or comments inside Facebook or YouTube, or you can reach out to me directly if you have any questions. So till then, we'll see you next time. Thanks, Pam.
Ciao. Thank you.